All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Karla Lewis. Karla, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm excited to be with you and spend some time with you this afternoon.
Same, and I have really been looking forward to this. And I want to start by just giving a shout out to Nick Pavlidis because Nick is the one who introduced you and I.
He
And
is.
and I'll tell you, uh, getting an introduction from somebody that you already know, that you already have a really great relationship with, that you already just trust them and trust their opinion and trust and just who they are and how you just got trust in their character and trust in their competence. I love getting introduced to people that way, and I mean, what a testament right there to the power of right relationships, which of course is what this
Absolutely.
podcast is all about and stuff.
There you go.
So,
Yes.
Nick, if you happen to be listening to this, thank you. It's
Thank you, Nick. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Nick.
Yes. So we'll just start. I mean, I'll just dig right in and we'll start with a
Sure.
nice, simple, easy question to begin with, Karla. What do you do and who do you serve?
Yeah, great question. So I am a partner, an executive coach, and sales professional with the Southwestern Consulting
Okay.
Company. We are a division of the Southwestern family of companies, which interestingly enough, Kevin, we've actually been around since 1855.
Wow,
Our
little
parent company
while.
has. Yes. So a little while. We don't look bad for over 170,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, so our side of the or our spoke of the wheel, if you will, is the Southwestern Consulting. So we offer sales, leadership, and professional development coaching,
Okay.
consulting, training, and public speaking.
Very good. Okay. So how did you get into working with it? Probably not when they started.
Right? No, 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 not quite. I've been with the company for 13 years.
So you've been with them for a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did that come to be?
Oh, Kevin, talk about the power of a relationship and how a wrong relationship
Uh-huh.
can be righted when you have grit and perseverance and stick-to-itiveness. So the Cliff Note version is my husband and I were involved in putting together a country music festival, if you will, in our
Okay.
hometown in September of '09. And I don't know if you remember how stellar the economy was
Oh,
in
I
September of
remember '08,
'09.
'09 very well.
Yes, yes. And I always tell people I have literally done business with the devil himself.
Okay.
And we got hooked up with this guy, believed what he said, because that's who we are. We are people of integrity and people of our word, and we believed him. And nothing was as it was presented. However, I am a believer in when you just keep going and you just keep looking for the good and you look for the positive and you look for the right. And anyways, this series of unfortunate events took my husband and I to Nashville, Tennessee, where I was introduced to the then president of Southwestern Consulting
Okay.
and
Okay.
went out to dinner with he and his wife. And at the end of the dinner, he said, "Hey, you're gonna come work with us." And I was like, "Oh, no, thanks for the offer, but I'm really not looking for a job. I had a marketing consulting company. I thought I liked what I was doing." And by golly, Kevin, he was right. It was the greatest career move I ever made. So that was 13 years ago. I've worked my way up, started as a salesperson and a coach, and
Okay.
have worked my way up to our executive coaching, worked my way into becoming a partner with the company in 2024. I have a team that I work with. And so it was through a series of things that could have just stifled my professional growth, but I
Yeah.
decided to keep going and this is where I landed, and
Yeah.
I'm super grateful.
So you made the comment that you already had this other business that you thought you liked. And so what did you discover along the way that caused you to make this transition?
Yeah, that's a great question and an interesting way to think back on this. And I'm confident that what I discovered was I have a passion for helping people learn how to sell the right way, which
Okay.
to me is about developing relationships.
Mhm.
And selling is not convincing, it's helping to problem solve. And I've always loved that. And what I realized was there were a lot of pieces to being an entrepreneur and a business owner that I didn't like billing and all the details and the minutia and coming up with the content and figuring everything out on my own and feeling like I was working in a silo and on an island and all of those things. And so the really cool thing about Southwestern is we have the systems built out for us. We have the operational support and we just get to go run our business and do the things that I love, which
Yeah.
is helping people solve problems through investing in themselves, delivering a training, helping them by partnering with the coach, whatever that is. And then all that other stuff, somebody else gets to deal with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly good with it. So
Yeah.
that's what I learned is there's power in relationships
Yeah.
and there's power in leveraging our strengths and then admitting, hey, maybe this isn't something that I'm good at and it drains my energy instead of fills my cup. So I found that there was this amazing company out there that I could do all the things I loved
Yeah.
and delegate off the things that I didn't and still pour into people.
Yeah. And then there's other people that, those things that we don't like doing necessarily, they really like doing those things
Amen.
and are way better at it.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So you you talked about using, what I mean, Dan Sullivan has been a long time, influence in my life and
Hmm.
this whole concept that he talks about called unique ability or God-given gifts or what have you.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you using your unique ability and God-given gifts,
Hmm.
what's a result? And you don't have to name names here or anything. You can if you want, totally your call, but what's a result that you've helped a client get that you're just incredibly proud of, Karla?
Yeah. So I'll use a name because he's given me permission. His name is
Oh,
Chris Duskin.
okay.
And Chris Duskin came to us in 2018. I did not enroll him into coaching, but I had the pleasure of coaching him for about 18 months.
Okay.
And when Chris came to coaching, he was making a significant income and he was working 80 to 85 hours a week,
A lot of hours.
going through a really challenging time in his life. And when he came to us, he said, I don't care if I make more money. I really don't. It's always nice to make more money, but he's like, that's not what I care about. He said, I want to be able to spend time with his then two high school age girls. They're obviously
Okay.
adults now. But he said, I just want to be able to not go backwards, but really be able to be present with my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And so he stepped into coaching and he more than 4x'd his income by working 30 to 35 hours a week. And a lot of it is what we were just talking about of finding people that love to do the things that he wasn't
Yep.
good at, the things that
Yep.
were draining his energy. And then it was just really becoming diligent with his time. And I love helping people with time management strategies, vision strategies. If you just open yourself up to, like you said, your God-given potential and, why are we here on this earth and what are we doing? And that's one of the stories that still to this day resonates with me is Chris Duskin.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Being a husband that, we celebrated our 20th anniversary last year and father to seven kids and
Mhm.
currently grandfather to six kids, six grandkids. And we'll in about 3 more weeks, it'll be seven grandkids.
Aren't they the best? Grandkids are the
Oh,
best.
it is. It is the
Yeah, they
best.
are the best.
And what you talked about, Chris just wanting to be present for his family, for his daughters, and
Yeah.
and that we really can have it all, that we can be the
Yes.
husband and father that we want to be, as well as the entrepreneur that we want to be,
Yes.
that gets to make that big impact through our business too and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we don't have to be working 80 hours a week in order to do
No,
that.
no, we don't.
And
We don't.
wow, that is like, so I'm sure there's probably, some entrepreneurs listening in on this that are might be thinking, I could go for some more of that in my life,
Yes, yes, yes.
And so I'll make sure that if what Karla is sharing is resonating with you, I'll make sure that you've got some contact information before we leave here today and stuff.
Perfect.
Um,
Yes.
so okay, so now that we've got, well, I want to dig deeper on the sales thing because
Yeah.
what you shared really resonates with me too. Because there's been sales training programs around for
Hmm.
years.
Hmm.
You see a lot of this stuff where they're teaching like scripts and like
Hmm.
if they say this you say this and
Hmm.
and it seems like so much to try and remember
Hmm.
and it doesn't seem like a lot of that is just really in alignment with maybe who we are and how we want to show up. But what you were
Hmm.
talking about of just having a heart-to-heart conversation with someone and
Hmm.
asking them questions
Hmm.
to just kind of play like so that we could just discover where they are,
Hmm.
and where they're wanting to go and what might be, what do they see as the impediment or the challenge to getting where they want to go. What's stopping them from already
Yes.
having that life that they want,
Yes.
and just
Hmm.
having that heart to heart conversation. And so, how did you personally come to discover this way of communicating versus the other way of sales?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love scripts and hear me all the way.
Yeah.
I see your face. Scripts to me just are an outline.
Okay.
It's not like if you're a grandparent, I'm guessing we're close to the same age. And remember when the home phone used to ring at 6 o'clock
Uh-huh.
and it would be the telemarketer,
Oh
calling
yeah.
to sell you this, that, the other thing, extend your car warranty. And they literally would just read. There
Yeah.
was no emotion, there was no inflection, there was no
Yeah.
questions. They were just reading, reading, and reading, and hoping to convince you
Yeah.
that you needed what they had. That's not scripting. That's just verbal vomiting over someone and
Uh-huh.
hoping that they say yes.
Mhm.
I believe, and Southwestern Consulting believes, that scripting is just a pre-planned conversation. So when we come into a conversation knowing the questions we want to ask,
Uh-huh.
just like you've scripted out what you're going to ask me today. This is
Sure.
not, you're not just winging it, right? We can either wing it or we can be prepared.
Yeah.
And so having scripts, having bullet points and outline, if you will, that's what we teach at Southwestern. And when I bring new people in to work on my team, I always share with them, we are the product.
Yeah.
People have to see something in us they want for themselves. And so when we can really ask those conversational questions and know ahead of time what we want to ask, then we can really be listening for the answer, not trying to prepare what we want to say next. And
Yes.
that's really the difference between a sales professional and someone who's just peddling their product, product
Mhm.
pusher. And
Mhm.
so I've just learned over time, I don't know if some of it's age too, Kevin, but I've just learned that people like to talk about themselves.
Yes, they
And,
do.
they like the sound of their own voice.
Mhm.
And so when we ask the right questions and then we're genuinely interested, like I had a conversation with a lady right before I hopped on with you. And when you ask the right questions, you just get people to open up.
Yeah.
And she was crying and sharing the things that she was really proud of in her career. And then the obstacles, the challenges, the things that she knows, she needs that outside perspective in order to get out of where she is today. And
Yeah.
so that's I've learned how to have conversations like that just through what we do at Southwestern.
Yeah. 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 And when we communicate that way, and like you said, we're not asking questions and then just waiting for our turn to talk next and stuff.
Right.
We're asking questions and then we're actively engaged in listening. And we end up giving people this gift because you're right. They do want to talk about themselves and they want to feel seen, heard, and understood. That's what they want,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yes.
And when
Yes.
we show up that way, we give them the gift of being able to feel that way, you know.
Yes.
And that is incredibly powerful.
Yes, it is.
Well, Okay, so now that we've got a little bit of context set
Mhm,
here, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit because I want to talk about the relationship side of this. And
yeah.
so, Carla, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who
Mhm.
completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yes. So there's actually two. I know I
Okay.
shared with you initially there was one, but there's actually two.
Okay, perfect.
The first one was the person that I was introduced to that we partnered with, the devil himself. We'll call
Okay.
him Rick because that's his name. I won't give you his last name, but his first name is Rick.
Okay.
And he completely changed the course of my career because had it not been for that awful
Mhm.
relationship,
Mhm.
I am big on learning from everything, right?
Sure.
Learning and growing from every experience and finding what we can take from it. And what I took from that, Kevin, is not everybody is a person of their word.
Mhm.
And I also learned that there were some things I was really good at and some things that I thought at that moment in my life that I wanted to do. And so by just chasing my dream and going after it, dreams don't chase themselves. We have to
Mhm.
chase them. And that's how I ended up at Southwestern. So that
Okay.
bad relationship changed the trajectory of my life and my career.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to experience so many amazing things because I've been at Southwestern. So that's one. And
Okay.
then professionally, when we think about growing our business through relationships, which is what we've been, referring to and talking about, and why you and I got introduced to each
Mhm.
other. Sarah Beth is her name,
Okay.
and she is amazing. Her family owns a family-run jewelry store,
All
and
right.
I was introduced to her, and I remember the date. It was March 4th, 2020.
Okay.
Do you remember March of 2020?
I remember what was going on in March of
Mhm.
2020.
That was the day that the governor of the state of Ohio, where I reside full time, shut down our entire state.
Okay. Okay.
And I was having a conversation with her. She was looking for a coach, a business coach. And at the end of the conversation, she said, yes. Shortly after, the state she lives in, they shut down as well. So here she is, retail establishment, depending on walk-in traffic.
Mhm.
How are we going to do this? And I'm so proud of her. We still work together to this day. I'm so proud of her because she stuck with it. She was a woman of her word. She said, this is not going to last forever. I need to figure this out. I need to know how to be a good leader and how to lead. I need to figure out how to lead my team through this pandemic. And not only do I still have a relationship with her, we are now coaching all of the leadership in her company because
Wow.
of the great relationship I formed with Sarah Beth.
Yeah.
And it's the trickle effect.
Yeah.
She's actually come to Nashville and where our corporate office is located and spoke to our entire group. And we have some videos of her speaking about why she invests in her team. And just over the last almost 6 years of working with Sarah Beth, she's changed the way I look at leaders. And I choose to look at leaders as, hey, of course they would invest in their people. Why wouldn't they? It's just up to me to ask them those right questions to make sure we're the right fit, right? Because we're not the right fit for everybody.
Yeah.
To make sure we're the right fit to work with her or to work with them, and then, of course, they're going to see the value and just continue to develop people because that's what we do at Southwestern is we develop good people, great people who develop great companies
Yeah.
because you can't develop a great company without great people.
Yeah.
And that's what we
Yeah.
do. And that's what Sarah Beth is living out daily and just the opportunities I've had because of my relationship with her and going to see her in person and training her team and having other coaches involved in coaching her team, that ripple just continues. I mean, we'll never know
Yeah.
on this earth
Sure.
who, so and so talked to so and so that talked to so,
Yeah.
and the ripple that goes,
Yeah.
and we'll never know where that ends, all
That's right.
because Sarah Beth and Carla
Yeah.
got connected and started working together.
Yeah. That is really phenomenal, and you're absolutely right. We never know the true ripple effect
Mhm.
of that, but it does. You
Right.
you start thinking about, and in a minute it does. It gets really big,
Mhm.
and
It
that is
does.
like really inspiring to just even think about, the kind of impact that you've been able to have just because the two of you made this
Hmm.
decision to work together, and how
Right.
many lives have been impacted because of that.
Exactly correct, Kevin.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So, um, so either one, either Rick or Sarah Beth, what's an example of a situation where you personally, Karla, got to make a really substantial impact, and maybe even in the moment, maybe it even surprised you a little bit, where you were like, wow, look at what happened right there. And yet you also know that would have never happened if not for the experience and the relationship that you'd already had with either one of these people that you were talking about.
Hmm. Hmm. So with Rick, if I hadn't met him all those years ago, you and I would not be talking today.
Sure. Okay.
And so just taking taking what could have been financially, professionally devastating
Yeah.
and finding the good and just continuing to move forward. I look back on that moment a lot and think, wow, a lot of weaker people would have crumbled, right? They
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
well, this isn't for me. I'm going to go work for somebody else, and being an entrepreneur isn't for me. And that's not who Karla is.
Yeah.
And so there's that. And then the thing that popped into my mind with Sarah Beth is not only do we partner with all of the leaders in her company,
Mhm.
she several years ago asked me to talk to her husband
Oh.
about having a coach. And I don't coach her husband. My colleague Anthony does. And the things that Mike and Anthony have got to experience together, they both love music and they've gone to a concert together, and just those things. Again, it's just that ripple. And so the things that it's just the relationships. I went to their company's 50th anniversary celebration, their
Okay.
50 years in business. And I went by myself, and the only people I knew were the people from her company.
Mhm.
And I got to meet her mother and her father and her sister and some other siblings, and just to watch how she interacted with people there was so inspiring, to see the confidence that she exuded and how she was networking with people, and then to sit there and listen to people just and talk with people and have them say, now, how are you here? Are you a customer, or are you a friend or family, or how are you here? And I said, no, I'm Sarah Beth's executive business coach. And they're like, oh, what's that? And so
Uh-huh.
just to talk to them and just to see so many interesting people that if Sarah Beth and I were not working together, I would have never had the chance to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the people. It's all about people for me.
Yeah.
I'm very relationship driven, and I love meeting people, whether I work with them or I just pass them on the street. I
Yeah.
love connecting with people.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that, you and Sarah Beth have been working together for, well, next month will be 6 years, that's pretty fantastic because, I mean, a 6 year relationship that is still in full swing and stuff. I mean, that just speaks volumes to the value of that relationship and stuff,
Mhm. Mhm. And
and
actually, it's interesting that you say that, because when you said that, it made me think of Alicia, that I've literally known since the day she was born, and I've coached her for 12 years.
okay.
And just received, actually, it's interesting that I received the award at our global summit in January, when I always think the client should be the one receiving the award. And it was for the most growth in income. And she increased her income 256% from the
Wow.
time she started in coaching until December
Yeah.
of 25.
Wow.
And so we have a lot of people that we work with. Yeah,
Yeah.
not everybody, but we have a lot of people that we work with for such a long time. And it does speak, and I'm not the only coach. We have lots and lots of coaches all over the world. And a lot of them just really serve our clients so well that they partner with us for a very long time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's wow. Wow. Well, for anybody who may be listening to this and thinking to themselves, man, I really like Carla. I like who she is and how she shows up, and I've really appreciated some of the things that she's shared here, and it's really got me thinking that, man, maybe I'd like to have a conversation with her, or maybe I know somebody else I'd like to connect with her. Any websites, any resources we can share with folks?
Yes, yes. So you can share our
Okay.
southwesternconsulting.com website. You can share, I think I sent you my bio.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
send information there. You're welcome to put my cell phone number on. I'm salesperson Kevin. I don't care who has my cell number.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I like to talk with people. So yes, they can reach out. You can put my email, KA Lewis at southwesternconsulting.com. You can
Okay.
put that on there. And I have a Calendly link. If it would be helpful, I can send that to you as well.
Sure.
And they can just book time with me to have a conversation, because my thoughts, my philosophy is we rarely become the most marvelous version of ourselves by ourselves. And
Yeah.
and what we know today is not enough to get us to a different tomorrow. And there's so many business owners and entrepreneurs and business professionals, executives, that they just feel stuck. They
Yeah.
feel like their
Yeah.
cup is empty. And we love having conversations with people, and not everybody that talks to us works with us, and that's okay. But like you said, they may know somebody that we should talk to, and a conversation is free. The start of a relationship is free.
Yeah.
And, we also work with so we do a lot of individual things, and then we offer complimentary workshops for
Okay.
folks that have a team.
Okay.
So when you think about a business owner that maybe they feel like they've been telling their sales team the same thing over and over and over. I worked with a guy named Joe when I was down in Tennessee last week, and he said, Carla, I feel like I'm riding the back of my team and I'm telling them this over and over and over and over, and they're just not listening. And I equate it to the parent, your parent, the parent
Mhm.
telling their kids,
Mhm.
hey, this. Somebody else steps in, tells them exactly the same thing in exactly the same words. And they're like, that's the best idea I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
I've had
And
that happen with my
yes,
kids.
exactly. Exactly. And so we offer these complimentary workshops just to give a fresh perspective to folks. And then we give people the opportunity at the end to be a yes or a no to a further conversation. But we just believe in serving our communities and serving our business colleagues well.
Yeah.
And I love connecting with people and being a positive impact on them and helping them work through some of the challenges that they may be experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. Is there any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap, Carla?
Well, thank you for having me. This has been great. I've loved getting to know you better. And I would just say that, coaching, training, developing ourselves is a never-ending process.
Yeah.
And, when you think about, we're in the heart of the Olympics right now, right? I
Yep.
mean, if people don't know the Olympics are going on, the Olympics are going on right now. I don't know when this is going to air, but they will have just finished if at
Yeah.
at the worst case. But when we think about the Olympics or the Super Bowl last night, you think about those top performing individuals.
Yeah.
They didn't get there alone.
That's right.
They
That's
absolutely did
right.
not get there alone. They all have a coach.
Yeah.
And whether it's, a lot of people have multiple
That's
coaches,
right.
and whether it's a mindset coach or an athletic coach or a business coach or whatever it is, we just don't become who we're meant to be on our own because we have these natural blinders on and we get stuck. And so I encourage everybody. I think everybody deserves to have a coach. Everybody needs a coach no matter what we're going through in life. And it's not so many times people think, "Oh, well, I'm good, I'm good. I'm performing well and I'm really good." Ego is the number one killer of success, right? That and procrastination.
Yeah.
But when we can just lay that aside and say, hey, I just would like a different perspective on this situation. I know when I share that with my coach, it totally shifts my mindset, it shifts my production, it shifts my leadership, it shifts the way I talk to my husband, my kids, my grandkids. And so I just can't tell I'm super passionate about coaching and self-development, and I would just welcome an opportunity to share that passion with others.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today and just share from your heart. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you, Karla, and I am excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin.
You bet.